Well, happening now, so far, neither side has blanked any political stare down in Washington that has brought part of the government to a stall. The showdown has raised the hackles of many Americans who have grown weary of a Congress that caves to every partisan speed bump with seemingly no ability to compromise for the good of the country. If you Facebook, you Twitter, you read the paper, you watch TV, you plainly see how Washington's uncompromising partisan politicking is fostering divisiveness, and it's getting pretty darn nasty. Lawmakers from both parties are posturing, though, tough, suggesting this partial shutdown might last for weeks. The fight is about Republican attempts to kill or delay the new health care law called Obamacare, so they stalled a routine spending bill. As a result, national parks and museums are closed, so are some national forests. Government websites are dark, and hundreds of thousands of non-essential workers reported for a half day yesterday to fill out their time cards, hand them in, along with their government cell phones and laptops, change their voicemail messages to gird down for a deepening shutdown. And the government shutdown could not have come at a worse time for Albuquerque, not that there really ever is a good time for one. The International Balloon Fiesta starts this Saturday, and as you know, it draws thousands of people from all around the world to the Duke City. And while they are here, they see everything else New Mexico has to offer on days that they're not out at the Fiesta Park or later in the day. Well, now the Albuquerque Chamber of Commerce is worried about what the federal closures could do to the community's bottom line.
If we're in for the long haul here and Congress drags this on through the end of the year, tourism is going to be affected, and it will be affected badly. And that's not good for any of us.
Without a doubt. Always mindful of its member businesses, the Chamber is reminding us there's always plenty to do when visiting Albuquerque, from shopping in Old Town to dining out in many great restaurants and enjoying the Bosque trails. Most of the Bureau of Land Management's 800 workers here in New Mexico are also furloughed. That means nearly all activities on BLM land are suspended. In BLM recreation facilities, campgrounds and boat ramps are closed, including Tent Rocks and the Rio Grande del Norte National Monument. That also means no new oil and gas leases or permits will be issued in New Mexico until this shutdown is resolved. BLM recreation areas typically draw about 1.5 million visitors every year. That contributes to more than $140 million to the state's economy. On some other news at 5:32, copper thieves forced a public health office in Albuquerque to close yesterday. According to cops, this happened sometime overnight Tuesday at the office near Montgomery in Wyoming. The staff had to move quickly to get patient appointments set up at other facilities all around town. The owner of the building is working to get the wiring fixed, but there's no word on how long that might take. Police are still looking for whoever did this. A lot of problems with copper thieves recently in Duke City. Well, you know, fights in high school are really nothing new. In fact, they're fairly common. However, they don't usually lead to criminal charges. But a one-sided fight at a school bus stop could spell some big trouble for a 14-year-old girl, 14 years old. The fight, I warn you, some of this video is a little disturbing. It was 2 weeks ago at a bus stop at Del Norte High. It was caught on cell phone cameras. State police say a 15-year-old girl was attacked by a 14-year-old girl, both students. The next day, the 14-year-old was arrested at school for another incident. APS police say she had a knife with her on campus. Now, that girl supposedly told police she brought the knife with her in fear of retaliation. Remember, this is the girl who started the fight. Oh, the victim and her mom reported the fight to state police. After talking with the girls involved and witnesses, state police recommended the 14-year-old be criminally charged with aggravated battery.
You have the evidence here. You have evidence on the victim, obviously being a victim of battery. So when you have that, added together, you do have a crime.
Now, the younger girl admitted she started the fight, but claims she did so only because she and the other girl had exchanged words the day before and that the victim had threatened her, so she was afraid that she would get beat up. Well, it'll now be up to a district attorney to decide if that 14-year-old, remember the one who started the fight, will officially be charged. All right, you really don't want to get much weirder than this. A couple in Albuquerque says, listen here, a naked man broke into their home, then ate their cat food. Police say this is that man, Roy Kincaid. He rang the doorbell of a home near Louisiana and Central Sunday night. He asked to use the phone. The owners told him to get lost. So he stripped down, he went around back, he grabbed a ladder, and police say he broke the back door, then let himself right on in. When police had got there, Kincaid was said to be naked, sucking his thumb, and eating cat food.
Stripping off before robbing really doesn't make much sense. In fact, it didn't make much sense, period.
Nope, not one bit. Police say Kincaid actually went at them too, so they tased him while he was naked, ouch, and took him into custody. He's charged with aggravated burglary and aggravated indecent exposure. Police think, yes, he was either on drugs or having a mental episode. Well, the murder case for prison escapee, this man, John McCluskey, could be in the hands of a jury as soon as later today. McCluskey is accused of killing Gary and Linda Haas here in New Mexico while he was on the run in 2010. Yesterday, during closing arguments, prosecutors painted him as a cold-blooded killer. Closing arguments for the defense were postponed until today, though delayed because the courthouse had to close early because of an electrical problem. Well, if anyone should know, you have to pay your taxes. It's Fidel Bernal. On special assignment last night, Kim Holland discovered how Bernal has had a dozen liens in the past 20 years, 4 in a little more than a decade. You might be surprised to learn that Bernal is the chief deputy treasurer for Bernalillo County. Bernal offered up all kinds of reasons for falling behind, including health problems and clients who stiffed him on their bills. He assured us and taxpayers that he manages his accounts and does not neglect them, though.
If you can't manage your budget at home, what's to say you can do it here?
They're not really money problems. They're just something that happens.
Now, he asked Bernal's boss, the county treasurer, how Bernal could keep the county's books straight when the ones at home are such a mess. To hear his answer and the rest of the story, make sure you watch Two Casa Fox tonight at 9 o'clock or check out our website, KRQE.com, to see Kim Holland's story anytime. Well, busy day for the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Dan Houston is delivering 3,000 decks of cards to representatives from the State Corrections Department. They're among 10,000 decks being handed out featuring missing persons and unsolved homicides in the Albuquerque area. The Metro Detention Center has already begun handing out 2,000 decks to its inmates. The hope is that inmates will use the decks and they could help offer up information to help solve cold cases and bring closure to families. Also word this morning, the Sheriff's Office will announce the creation of a multi-agency task force this week made up of local, state, and federal law enforcement. A news release from the Sheriff's Office says the purpose of the task force will be laid out as a news conference later today at Homeland Security Investigations. We'll keep you posted on that. Also today, BCSO is sponsoring an anti-bullying workshop with the New Mexico Human Rights Project. It starts at 8:15 this morning at the UNM Science and Technology Park. It's aimed at engaging teachers, administrators, and social workers to identify and stop bullying in person and online. Nearly 1 in 5 students experiences bullying in some way. Last year, a student at Los Lunas High School committed suicide, believed to be the result of being bullied. The Albuquerque police are now asking for your help to find a man who's been missing for days. His name is Alexander McNeil here. He's 71 years old. He was last seen September 20th near San Pedro and Montgomery. Mr. McNeil has been known to travel by city bus. If you've seen him or if you have any information, please call police. And it is a new chapter for Page 1 in the Wantabo Plaza. The popular bookstore's landlord is evicting it so a Walmart neighborhood market can move in.
Right now, we are waiting to be evicted and the space be demolished.
All right, that building there will be torn down in December. Stout there says the final stages of a deal to move Page 1 to the Mountain Run Shopping Center at Eubank in Wantabo are going on right now. Certainly hope they're able to move. It's a cool bookstore. Check it out. It's local. It's a good thing.